What is going on? What's going on with you? All right. So I let everything run for a little bit. We only had 3 people come on and join. So we may just cut the feed, because if people really wanted to know or wanted to get the information, they would be here. Because I'm here every week, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do have lots and lots that I have to be working on. So Sunday must not be a value day. So we have to make changes. Because I'm certainly not here to waste your time, and I'm certainly not here to waste my time. Let's see if I can find some headphones here. Let's see what we can do here. So make sure that you hit that thumbs up button when you come on in, and make sure that you shout out, share. Shout out and share. And I guess I'll hang out for just a little bit. If nobody wants to join or participate, then I will cut feed. But it's Q&A time. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them here. Well, I'm sure I have headphones, but whatever. All right, so stick in there for a couple minutes. We'll see what kind of participation we get. It is after 11 Central Standard Time. It's 11:17. I gave plenty of time to come on in here. I noticed the numbers, the viewership. I noticed that when you ask people to come on in here and give a thumbs up, you notice that the viewership goes up, but the thumbs up don't go up, suggesting that individuals may not even identify or agree with your stance or even want to support you or your channel. And that they're just generally here just to steal, just to take information. They don't want to indicate that they're here. They don't want to shout out that they're listening or watching. And that's because generally they're just here to take and not to give back. And so I'm pretty fed up with that. You know, this channel is affording information that you just can't find anywhere else. And so I think the channel deserves a little bit more recognition, a little bit more respect than it is given. I think people take advantage of it. And that's just a shame. I'm here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. Also on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I'm probably going to discontinue either one or both because, quite frankly, as you can see, the viewership is just not there. Or the value is just not there, and or both. So that being the case, I got a lot of other things I could be spending my time on. So if you don't value it, you don't see the worth in it, then it is what it is. If you are here, make sure that you're shouting out. Don't be a taker merely. Letting us know that you are here. I'll wait for questions. Otherwise, I will cut feed. I'll wait for your questions. Submit your questions. This is question and answer. You have them. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button as you come on in. I find I've been giving away a lot of content. I was in a conversation with somebody the other day who was admonishing me and saying, I think you're giving away too much. People are not finding value, or at least they're not expressing that they value the content you're providing. And it shows. We've been on nearly 21 minutes now. Let's see how many comments we got. 1 comment. How many thumbs up we got? We are answering questions. Otherwise, I'm going to cut feed. You got anything you need to talk about? Now is the time to do so. I have plenty of work to keep me busy. I have court tomorrow for someone else's case. If you value this time and there's something you want to discuss, now is the time to put it in the comment section. Again, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. This is your opportunity. Looking for your comments today. Questions, comments. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you have something that you want to talk about, I can send you the guest link and you can join me and we can discuss your topic. If you have something you want to argue about, debate, let me know. All right, a few more minutes. Nobody's interested, then I'm going to cut feed. Your choice. We're going to stop giving away so much. People are not willing to support, therefore they don't value the content, and therefore they're just merely here to take. And we're going to stop that. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to cater to my Patreon subscribers. I'm going to cater to those who support. Because I ain't going to be one to be used. Not that. No. That's all right. Good riddance to you. You got to go. Good riddance. I put in my hard work. Greetings to you, Terry Camp. Thank you for being here. Use this time, take this time to put in your comments. Your comments or questions, this is your time. For all those people who want to get an attitude about, sometimes what's necessary, what I must do, and trying to encourage people to support, and you want to get an attitude about that, I really could care less. It's your loss. It ain't my loss per se. I'm here to help you. But I give. Meanwhile, I go without for lack of support. We're not going to have that. I'm not going to even encourage that. If we were on here talking about twerking and having a hot boy and hot girl summer, I would have 50,000 supporters. If I was in here just telling you things that people just like to hear, that you can become a freaking millionaire or billionaire or submit a single form to the State Department and all of a sudden you're free. If I was in here just peddling fiction, unfounded and unsubstantiated conjecture, I'd have 50,000 subscribers. Ain't that weird? But I put in the work that I do, the research, I back everything up. Now, how is it that I'm sitting here backing up? You guys are expecting me, and I have told you, I will put out the information and back it up by case law, by state statute, and what have you. And I get the least amount of support, but then you got other cats that are willing to just spout off at the mouth, conjecture, give you commentary, right? And they get all the support. How is that? Why would that? Why do you think that would be? Why do you think that would be? Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. This is your time for comments, questions, whether adverse to my position or in agreement with my position. Let it be known. This is your time. But we're going to stop giving away so generously without support. We're going to strongly encourage your support moving forward. If it's not appreciated and if there's no value here, then so be it. We don't need to keep giving. We give out very substantial information. And I've left up plenty of substantiated facts that are supposed to better you and help you on your journey, all right, to understanding the system that we find ourselves a part of. And we simply are starving for appreciation, short of our Patreon subscribers. In fact, let me just do this. while we're waiting on participation, let's just do this. To my active members over at the Patreon, shout outs to Kelsey. Shout out to Raynald Archer. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Christine R. Clayton. Shout out to Terry Camp, who, even though is at work, still takes the time to show appreciation in the comment section and is one of the only. Yet we have 7 people watching. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Shout out to Pluto Prospects, aka Pluto Basketball out in Colorado. Shout out to you, one of our major supporters who has been there since day one. And I appreciate all of you. I see we have lost one supporter. I don't know where they've gone, but last week we had 8. Now we have 7. I question, what could I possibly be doing wrong that I, A, lose supporters, B, have the fewest amount of supporters, when these other channels and platforms are spouting nothing but conjecture and commentary? They cannot provide you with a legally protectable interest. You come here and you're able to get facts, statutes, common law, case law, etc., etc. Incontrovertible. So what could I possibly be doing wrong? Is it me? Or is it the people who are lazy and, just want to hear things? They have itching ears, just want to hear somebody tell them that the system is fraudulent and that you're owed $1 billion through a Treasury Direct account. And all you got to do is just fill out this 1099 form and claim what is yours or own the name. That's the type of stuff that people like. That's the easier way, huh? That's the easier way. That's what people really want to hear. You got to leave. Good riddance. This information was meant for you, to build you up. You like deceits more than you like the truth? Huh? You like that? Have at it. Go get it. Go get it. All right. But anyways, once again, thank you, Kelsey, Raynald Archer, Troy, Christine R. Caton, Terry Camp, Pluto Prospects, Pluto Basketball, and so those are my supporters over at Patreon. Really appreciate you. You are the only supporters that keep us going. I can't speak to how long this is going to continue. We are doing 2 days a week. And quite frankly, as you see, we've been on for 34 minutes. And this is all we get. And 3 of these viewers are from within KnowledgeWell organization. Tell me that ain't sad. So anyways, your comments, your questions, your concerns. 26 minutes and no participation. Short of Terry Camp. Unbelievable. And Jade Fire. Nobody has any questions. Everybody's got it figured out? You got it? All right. Well, let me not waste any more of your time. I'll decide if we will even continue these lives past and beyond today. It's a shame that the people, but it is what it is. I'm going forward. I'm going forward. I'm going to get mine. Are you going to get yours? There will be no shortage. Let me admonish you and warn you. There will be no shortage of disinformation. There's always a larger amount of deceit, misinformation that will be made available to you. You will never be short of that. You will go from YouTube channel, platform to platform, YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and you will be inundated consistently, persistently, without, limitation. You'll always be inundated with misinformation. Okay? You will hardly find stations, channels, what have you, that back up, matter of factly, in law, their claims and assertions. As long as I've been doing this, it's been very difficult. I've been an avid student for 8+ years. It's very difficult to eat at everybody's table because I myself was part of the injured class by disinformation. Tripping and falling all the way down the pathway of sovereign citizenship and the theories therein. I had to recently, at a court hearing, apologize. A very humbling experience. I had to literally apologize to the city attorney and the judge for my part, played in misrepresentation and disinformation. I had to tell him, he's like, what made you change? Why were you once a sovereign citizen and now you're not? I told him, I don't agree that I was ever a sovereign citizen, but I do agree that I was participating in misinformation and disinformation, that I had not done my due diligence in researching to make sure the claims that I was making were backed up in law. So I apologized to the judge just this past week, a few days ago, and to the city attorney. It was a very humbling experience. But I wanted to make sure I set the record straight that it was never my intent to be misled like that. I said I have a family. I don't have time to play these games of deception and what have you. I wholeheartedly believed in what I was doing. I thought that this was what Americans do, being patriotic, stand for your rights, against tyranny, et cetera, right? But then I had to discover what was actually going on, what the real truth of the matter and the issue was. And since it was never my determination or goal to use information to control people or to profit from people, it wasn't what I came in doing or wanting to accomplish. So I legitimately wanted this to be an information platform where people can come and disseminate the information and apply it appropriately in their particular lives. That led me down a whole rabbit hole and, merging and joining with other platforms who were clearly out for profits, weren't necessarily out for the betterment of the people, were more out for status for themselves, to get clicks and what have you. And it was not really about educating the people to successfully manipulate or, for a better term, traverse the legal and the lawful, or the jural sphere and the moral sphere. All right. And so I literally had gurus tell me, that, when I would go to them, I would call them privately on the phone. I'd say, man, that's not correct. That's just not correct what you're saying. You don't want to be held, I would tell them. When I started to come out of this whole sovereign citizen mindset, and I was like, oh no, something's wrong here. When I started to do that, I started to reach out to these gurus and talk to them, or send them little private messages and say, man, what you're saying is just not accurate. Let me show you. And almost 100% of the time, it was, my good faith effort was met with disdain, or accusations of talking condescending to them, or that type of stuff. Because people, I found, were not really legitimately caring what their message was doing to other people's lives. Because, quite frankly, you're states away, right? Your nation states away. These people are never going to have to, per se, look you in your face. They're never going to have to worry about you ringing their doorbell and saying, hey, man, what you said to me and what you got me believing and what you delivered to me is incorrect. They know that they're probably, the chances of them having to deal with that are slim to none. And so, because there's that space, that opens the opportunity for people to be negligent in their public offerings for what they're calling status corrections and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, that was never my intent here at KnowledgeWell Media. All right, and it is a lot of people's intent out there. Like I said, I talked to some of them, and they told me straight out, this is just what I do to make money, man. So that's when we had to go separate ways. You see what I'm saying? We had to go separate ways. I don't make enemies per se, but I usually will stand for what is right. Okay, that's just what I do. Period. Point blank. And so I can't ride with everybody. All right, I can't ride with all these cats out here. And so that's why you see, part of the reason you see my numbers stay where they're at as far as viewership and participation, because I refuse to acclimate to schemes for profit. They say it's lonely at the top. Okay, so that's just what it is. All right, you're going to stand for righteousness, all right, or you're going to fall for profits. You know what I mean? You're going to fall for the profit schemes and gains. Some people, they want to be right, but they don't want to be righteous. There's a difference. Okay. So with that being said, that's KnowledgeWell in a nutshell. All right. We don't ride with everybody. We don't ride with everybody. We don't ride with everybody. It was never about money. It was never about profits. I'm not making a living off of KnowledgeWell Media. Okay? That's why I had to go take a job and get back to work. Right? Regardless of how I felt about it. Right? I had to support family. And this ain't doing it. So, as you see, we've been on for 36 minutes. But that's okay. I got plenty of work to do to keep me busy. I got people that do depend on me for my experience, for my knowledge, and what have you. And I'm going to cater to those. Okay. You are welcome and more than welcome to come along. We are going to continue moving forward, but I will not be robbed. I will not be robbed. You're not going to take all my hard work, unpeel the banana that I grew on my tree, take the peeling off, and take the meat of the banana for yourself and throw me the peeling. I get no credit for anything, huh? You just gotta take. No, sir. No, ma'am. So, thank you, Terry. I will continue to stand for truth. I certainly will. I certainly will. But I gotta say, I am very disappointed in this circle. Very, very much so. Very much so. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. And it's, it's time. It's time for, the story of the wheat in the chaff. Let me share that with you. The parable of the wheat, or the story of the wheat and the chaff. Chaff. Let me share that story with you here, because I think it's very fitting. In this day and time. Let's see if I can find it here. Come on now. It says Matthew 3:12. Let's see if I can find the King James Version. All right, let's share this. All right, that's not it. Hold on. Well, anyways, the scripture talks about separating the wheat from the chaff. Okay, the chaff is the hollow replica for wheat. They look identical. But the chaff is hollow, basically is what it is. It's a lookalike. It's a mirror. It's, like the legal system versus the system of law, or the bureau versus the moral sphere. Okay. And let's see here. I'm trying to find a demonstration. So it's basically talking about separating the valuable from the worthless. The wheat represents those who are truly repentant, the chaff, those like the Pharisees and Sadducees who are not. Okay? The chaff cannot be digested by humans, but it can be fed to livestock, plowed into soil, or burned. It was usually burned in the biblical accounts. Okay. So with that being said, that's what we were in our doing, is separating the wheat from the chaff. All right, thanks for that, Terry. Yep. All right, I've been on for 43 minutes. I've said what I said in an unrepentant way. I believe it's time to move on and deal with those. I like I said, talked to somebody earlier this week, and they said, yeah, man, you know, you're burning yourself out, you're giving too much away, and people aren't appreciating it. So leave them to their folly, as it were. You know, leave them to go on over to the other channels, which are not based or founded upon anything in law, just conjecture and their commentary and how they feel about a situation. They got you emotionally engaged so that, you know, they're hyping you up on fearing or being upset or angry at the system. And then they're trying to double down with fraudulent processes that have no foundation in law. And people are going for that hook, line, and sinker. They still have not gotten the message. And after 15 or so years, 8 to 15 years of doing the same thing over and over, jumping from platform to platform, guru to guru, thinking they're going to get a different result. Don't even know the basis and fundamentals of the system, but you're going to try to illegitimize and say that the system is fraudulent or is has no power, has no authority, has no jurisdiction. When you don't even understand the basis of how the system even operates, that's a huge problem. So you're looking for a Martin Luther King in the way of status correction. You're looking for a Malcolm X in the way of jurisdiction or challenging jurisdiction or the your status as a citizen or national of the United States. You're looking for a champion to illegitimize a system that you do not even understand. And that's a huge issue and problem. It's a huge issue and problem. And having many consultations and discussions with various individuals lately, it is overtly clear that people, no matter how long they have sat under teachings and no matter how much they think they know, they clearly still do not get it. Clearly still do not get the system, how it functions, why it functions the way it does. And so I guess the future holds a multitude of pain or injured people, a multitude of injured people, people harmed by disinformation and misinformation. That's the future. And like I said, because these platforms, these gurus are engaging you in an emotional way, wanting you to rage against the machine, teaching you to rage against the machine, because they are doing it in such a way, it grabs the attention of the masses, because if there is a movement per se that gives the appearance of empowering the people against said government or state or what have you, everybody wants to be a part of that. Well, let me be clear, this is not a civil rights movement, okay? This is not flight from slavery through the Underground Railroad. That's not what this is. What these platforms are essentially setting you up for is annihilation. It's inevitably to strip you of the legal personality that you need in order to participate in commercial activity, in order to have a state and be recognized by that state as having civil and political rights to contract and do other things in the legal order. That's what these gurus, these platforms, are inevitably going to affect and strip you of. And then who are you going to go to? Because more times than not, having background information and knowledge about some of these gurus, even personal information and firsthand knowledge, you'll find that the very processes that they are selling to you or getting you to believe in, they have not even done themselves and are not planning to do them either. Just saying. So it's a money thing. It's a money game. It's a power and influence. It's a clickbait type of scheme. And if the people do not wake up to this, there will be untold harm and damage done to not only those individuals who participate, who have fallen for the okie doke, but also your family, your children. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are trapped up in the CPS, Child Protective Services, the child support game, and what have you, who now don't have their children. They no longer have their children. Why? They will tell you that they followed after someone's process that disillusions them and taught them to fight, to don't show up to court, don't participate. And then they by default lose their children, not because they lost a valiant battle that they fought and stood upon their rights, a legally protectable interest. No, because they just didn't show up, because they were told not to participate, because you give jurisdiction if you participate. And now the children suffer. In other cases, people are locked up for bail jumping, for not showing up to the hearing, representing your interests, what have you, because you were told not to. When are the people going to get fed up? When? This is what we're up against. Now, I came here, put together the channel to discredit essentially these outlandish teachings, to prove the fraud in them, the disinformation. And again, the support for this type of platform providing you those services is next to nothing, short of the 7 or so people that I just mentioned to you that are supporting us here. There are really no gurus from these other channels, which are challenging or would even dare to challenge my positions because they can't. Because they don't operate off of legal proofs, factual proofs. They don't operate that way in the first place. They're not doing their due diligence. They're not researching. They're just, what is it called? Cherry picking, low hanging fruit. They're surfing other platforms and stealing a little pieces of information, taking it back to their platforms and packaging it and selling it. That's all they're doing. That's why they can't provide any facts or proof. And half the time when I'm watching their content, oh yes, because I have to watch their content because that's kind of what I built my platform off of, is this, dealing with their disinformation, the disinformation that is hurting you. And so while I'm sitting there watching their platform and they pull up things and try to make assertions about that which they're reading, and you can clearly see, if you're not being disenfranchised by disinformation, you can clearly see that they're not even reading it the proper way and in the proper context. I can't tell you how many times I've sat there and watched people pull up 28 USC 3002 15A and try to still make the claim that the United States government is a federal corporation. They're still saying the same thing. How do you get that off of that? Let me demonstrate what I'm saying. I've done it already. I'll do it again. Let me show you the legal incompetence of the gurus who have 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. Let me show you. Let me show you how they easily disillusion the people. This is just one demonstration. I can give you many others, but this is just one, okay? Let me show you how. "28 USC Code Section 3002, 15A. Now we'll go down to 15A. This is what they build their premise off of. 15 right here. 15A. What does it say? United States means a federal corporation. Number one, does it say the United States? Does it say the United States? Point number one. No, it clearly doesn't. So it's not talking about a specific geographical or regional entity. This is a general term and phrase in this particular US code, which is 28 United States Code. In this particular code, it's telling you and speaking of United States as a term, not the United States. Then, if that isn't enough, it says means. What are they saying when they're saying that a word, and that they give a particular word and they say means? What is that suggesting that they're about to do? Doesn't that suggest that they're about to define the word or term that was just stated previously? Did it say the United States government is a federal corporation? No. It says in this title, United States means a federal corporation. United States means a federal corporation. In every title and code of the United States or of your state, they have a definition section that precedes the code, because they're going to say, in this statute, person shall have the meaning this. And in some cases, it may even tell you that this only applies, or this, in this statute, person shall have this meaning here only. Meaning, if you go to another statute, that same word person may mean something completely different, because they define the usage just like they did here in 28 USC. They are not telling you that the United States government is a federal corporation. They are telling you in this title 28 USC that when you see the term United States, that it will have the meaning a federal corporation. Never speaking of the government. But your favorite guru, they'll convince you that this is saying that the United States government is a federal corporation. Where did they get that from? Because it doesn't say it there. Anyways, just to give you an example. But I got to go. I got things to do. All right. For you that have supported, I really appreciate you. Thank you. And I would suggest that you hit us up at KnowledgeWell, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com if you want to stay in constant correspondence with us, because it's time to separate the wheat from the chaff. All right? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, your football day, your day of the sun, your day of inspiration. It's been fun. It's been real. But it ain't been real fun. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Start your journey today by liking, subscribing, and sharing our YouTube channel, KnowledgeWell Media, or by going to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site and perusing over the available content and information. Also by submitting your email at the bottom of the Square site page in the Stay in the Loop section to receive priority information, specials, and other insider details. Or by signing up for a 1-hour consultation to tailor your specific educational needs in beginning your journey. You may do so at the aforementioned Square site, once again at knowledgewell-media.square.site.